Hello YouTube. What I'm going to review today is the Daniu credit card sized lockpick set. And it's a set of lockpicking tools, very basic lockpicking tools, but very portable, which is contained in this little pocket sized or credit card sized container, which fits into your wallet's credit card holding slots. With this set, you could actually pretty easily pick open most everyday locks that you encounter, such as padlocks or even some door locks and office drawer locks and filing cabinet locks, things like that. Very basic locks that you could open pretty easily with these tools. This set more for just for fun, just to mess around with locks and see how easy it is to open specific locks and just kind of give myself a challenge. But I also got it, and I got it specifically this form factor to be able to carry it for emergencies. If I get locked out of my house, or if I lose my office key or something like that, and I'm not able to very easily get something I need, this is what it's for. And you could just keep it in your wallet and forget it's there until you really need it. This kit includes this plastic case, which slides open. Inside you'll find 4 of the most common lock picks, along with a tension wrench. So what you have here is 2 rake style lock picks and 2 single pin lock picks and a tension tool. And the tension tool is actually quite a bit thicker than the other 4 picks because this is what takes a lot of pressure, and they don't want this to bend on you very easily. So let's take a look at each of these picks here. So you get a half diamond pick, which is best to pick each of the pins alone. You get a hook pick. You get a snake rake. And you get a city rake, or a long rake. I found the best deal for this pick set here on eBay. It cost me $8.25 and free shipping. Before deciding to buy the credit card pick set, I did look at a few other tools. Mainly from South Ord. I've looked at the jackknife, and this is a very good looking pick set. What I like about it is that it could fold up into your pocket, kind of like a switchblade. What I didn't like about it is that I would have to actually remember to carry it and pick it up every day and put it in my pocket, and I just didn't want to have to deal with doing that every single day. Other than that though, this is also another good consideration. Another one, also from South Ord, is the pocket pen. And the pocket pen is also very nice. It comes with lots of different picks. But one thing I don't like about it is that it's quite large, and I just don't want to have to carry this in my pocket. As well as it being expensive at $60. Lastly, I also considered this product here from Sparrows lockpicks. It's called the Chaos card. And it's a breakout card which has a few tools built into it. And it's meant only specifically for emergencies. It's much thinner than the Daniu pick set, but you can only really use it once. As soon as you take out any of these items and break them out, you can't really put them back, and you can't continue using this card. So I would much rather have the Daniu card set, only because I'm going to be using it also as a hobby, just to mess around with locks, not just for emergencies. But this is definitely a very good card for emergencies, and it's much lighter looking. And it definitely looks like it has a few other tools that the Daniu set does not have. So with this kit, there are some pros and there's also some cons. One of the main pros for me is usability. So I have this REI member card here, which I want to use to show you guys the relative size of this kit. And as you can see, this is actually the same as a credit card size card. And it's pretty much exactly the size of a credit card. So it's able to very easily fit in my wallet, and I'm able to carry around every day without really feeling that it's there because it's very thin. So this is a portable set of picks, and they're very tiny, and they're not like a complete full-size pick set. It's still relatively easy to open locks with this, and especially for emergency use, it's more than enough. Actually, it's better than what you would normally want to have for emergencies. So it definitely works, and it's able to open locks, which I will demonstrate towards the end of the video. Although this is made in China and the materials might be questionable, I still think they did a very good job with it. It's very smooth. Let me see if I could get a close-up here. It's very smooth, and they don't have that many rough edges or anything. I don't even need to sandpaper this at all. I like the way it is, just as it came out of the box. And as you can see, there's, even where it's most important, the very tips here, it's not too bad. I mean, if you really wanted to, you would sandpaper it just a little bit, but I've used it a few times already, and I didn't find any issues with it. So they did a pretty good job cutting these out and making sure that it's smooth enough to use at least. So that's another thing I like about this set, that they finished it very well. For a couple of cons, things I don't like about this set is these can be very easy to bend if you're not careful. I like the thickness of the tension wrench, but the picks themselves, they are very super thin, and it's quite easy to bend these, and if you put too much force on them, I think you could really bend them out of shape. So you would just have to be careful when you're using them. And really, honestly, since this is just for emergency use and I'm not going to be using this every day, I really don't care about it bending too much. I just need it there when I need it. That's pretty much what it's for. Also, this set, the container it comes with, it's nice and thin and all, but when it comes to putting these things back, sometimes it can be a little rough. The case doesn't close very easily, or you would have to get kind of used to closing the case. The edges of the tools get stuck on the lid here and doesn't allow it to close, so you have to kind of hold everything down while you slide this over it, and you have to just kind of make sure it's locked into place. See how things just seem to fall out? But see, you'd have to push these in and all sorts of things like that. But honestly, it's not like I'm going to be opening and closing this every single day, so it's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, it closes relatively easily once you're getting used to it. So see how sometimes the tools stick out of it? You just kind of have to push them back in and so forth. So yeah, the case isn't very great, but it's also not bad for what it does. So the cons for me, honestly, they're not deal breakers at all. I don't mind them much. So the part that everyone's been waiting for, so I only have a couple of locks to show you guys that I just found around the house. This one I have the key for. This one I don't even know where the key is. So it's actually perfect to try to pick open. I have already picked these open before, so I kind of know that I'm going to be able to do it. So let's go ahead and pick this one first, since it's easier than this lock. What I like to do with very simple locks like this is just to use the rake tool. So what I would do is either grab the long rake or city rake, or I would grab the snake rake. So either one would work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I'm going to go with the long rake on this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the tension wrench. I mean, there's a lot of videos out there to show you exactly how to pick locks. So this is not really a how-to video on picking locks open. It's just to demonstrate that this small kit can definitely open locks like these. Well, there you go. So it only took me a few seconds to pick open this one with the tension wrench obviously and the city rake. And as you can see, I did not bend it. So it's definitely able to last as long as you don't put too much pressure on the pick. I think you'll be fine. So next up is the little bit harder master lock. This one takes me a little while longer to pick open. Okay, so for this lock, I'm going to use the tension wrench, which actually has two sides to it. It has a little bit thicker side and a thinner side. So it depends on the lock you're trying to open. Sometimes you might want to use the thicker side or the thinner side. If the lock doesn't have much space for you to pick, then use the thin side. This one has quite a bit of space, and the thick side would work better, and it'll allow me to have more control over it. So let's pop that in. There you go. And for this, I'm going to use the hook pick. And what you're going to do is pick it one at a time, because since this one's a little bit harder to pick, I'd rather have the ability to control which pin inside I'm working on at any given time. So let's go ahead and start off at the very back and move forward as I lock each of the pins in place. Almost there. There you go. So tension wrench and the regular hook pick did this one for me. So there you go. So it could open locks quite easily, and it could open more than just padlocks. One other thing I'd like to mention about lock picks in general, depending on what state you live in, you might not be a good idea to carry this around with you, unless you're a professional locksmith. Now I'd like to also share a couple of other things I carry around with me every day, just in case you guys find that helpful. One of the other things I really like to have with me every day is this credit card sized tool set, and it comes with a few tools that I honestly use quite often, and it always comes in handy. So it comes with a little tiny knife. This knife I don't use as often, and you'll see why. I also like to use the scissors, and they do come in handy. It has this little four-sided set of, I guess, let's see, it has Phillips screwdriver tips and the flat screwdriver tips as well. I haven't had to use this yet, but I could see why I would want to have it. It also comes with, let's see, tweezers. I've had to use this a couple of times before. And also my favorite, a pen. And I always have a pen with me because it's in this thing and it's in my wallet. So whenever I need to write something down somewhere or share some information with someone, this does come in handy. It also has this magnifying glass, which I don't use, and a very silly LED light, which doesn't do much. But apart from that, all the other tools are quite useful to have. So I carry that around with me. But I also carry a pocket knife with me almost all the time. And this is my main tool for a lot of different things, including like for food or cutting fruit or cutting something that I need to cut, basically. And it's just very handy to have. And this particular one comes with a little lock on it so that it won't accidentally open in your pocket, which is not going to happen, so you don't need to worry about that. So yeah. This is also a very handy thing to have and use every single day. Well, thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful. Thank you.